Hello and welcome into the Sorare Data Show. I'm Andrew Laird. You can find me as Lairdinho on Sorare. Talking today about strategy tailing, which is a term that I hear mostly about sports betting because it's basically people are like, oh yeah, I'll make this bet. Or someone's like, hey, this is a bet I like. And someone's like, oh, I'll tail that, even though their odds are much worse and it's not the same bet. But it's also because I'm doing it right now on Sorare and I feel like I just had to call myself out on it. Whether it's right or wrong, I had to call myself out. So that's what we're here for. Thank you, everybody, for coming in. Philly Dilly, Stefan, and Pico Player on the podium. Congratulations to you three. Fraxy right behind them. Toby checking in said, let's go. I think you should follow your own path on Sorare. It doesn't mean you can't take inspiration from others, though, but I don't think you have to. You'll have fun blindly copy pasting from others for long. Excuse me. Anion, what's up? Depends on if you have a way of getting more XP, then sure. Otherwise, your best can only be second. I know what you're saying, but I'm not sure it's quite that easy. Red or Dead, what's up? Mikey Baston will be back in about 10 minutes after the 4 p.m. Isn't it 3 p.m. where you guys are? Yippee-ki-yay, what's up? Sean Kennedy, thanks for coming in. Appreciate you guys watching and chatting. There any lurkers out there? Hello to you too. So yeah, Nep was on the show on, I don't even, what's today? Wednesday? He was on Monday talking about his Stuttgart kind of a multi-stack massive collection thing. And I'm thinking I'm basically halfway to doing it. Charlie said, never heard of the tailing phrase before. Must have not made it over the pond yet. Maybe I'm wrong. I have no idea if it is, but it's basically doing something because someone else did it. And like I said, it's usually with sports betting. So if someone's like, oh yeah, I really like over 3.5 goals in Liverpool PSG. And someone's like, oh, okay, yeah, since you're doing it, I'll do it too. And so there's that. Yeah. Ricomon said 4 p.m. our clocks didn't change. Oh yeah, you're right. You're right. My fault. Anyway, just might get hi there. A good show would be Sorare Manager Showcase. Not sure if that's something you've done before, but it would be fun to watch and hear your advice to other managers. So Mike, like that's basically what Quinny and Harry do, right? With their like gallery reviews. And I don't think Harry and I have like gone that far on what would you do, which we did, yesterday. But yeah, so and actually, Sean, PSU fans 2 and I used to do that as well. And what was funny about that is that we ended up basically telling everyone to do the same thing. And it's not that it was like lazy, but almost everybody kind of was at the same place. Like, oh, I have a bunch of rares. And I don't think limiteds really were that, well, actually they were pretty prevalent at the time. But it was basically like, oh, I have rares. I was considering buying some super rares to play Rare Pro at the time. And for those of you who are new, Rare Pro used to be this competition where you could play 5 rares, but also you could play up to 2 super rares. So you could play 3 rares and 2 super rares. And the super rares got a 20% bonus. And it was really the best. The best competition on Sorare was All-Star Rare Pro. And a lot of people who were like, I've maxed out on rares. What should I do now? And it felt like we were giving the same advice to people over and over. And it wasn't so much like the point of the show was let's discuss some strategies. And so some people like may watch that and say like, oh, I'm in the same position. I should do that too. And instead we were getting like, oh, I'm in the same position. What should I do? And we were like, oh, you should get some supers and play Rare Pro. And they were like, okay, great. And then we'd go to the next person and it was the same question. And we were just like, it didn't really go that far. And it's not that we thought like that was where everyone should go, but it was kind of at that point where like, it felt like everybody that we were getting the questions from were asking the same question. So yeah, and it's not like a knock on people watching, but like, I think it's difficult when people see basically their situation, but just like in another competition and don't see the value in the advice unless it's like their cards are there. It's like, oh, I play La Liga and I want to do, should I expand a champ or should I do something else? And then, you give the advice and then somebody's like, I only play Bundesliga. Should I play champ? And it's like, well, we just had this conversation. It just happened to be La Liga instead of Bundesliga. But we haven't really done that in a while, and maybe it's worth going into because there are obviously so many more competitions to play now. Red or Dead said tailing equals copying. So it's not so much copying because, and I think the way that Nep described his strategy, it's a strategy that you can copy, but I'm not sure necessarily like the team that he picked was the one that you needed to tail or copy. So for anyone who didn't watch Monday's show and hasn't watched Nep's uh, episode on it over on the Nepenthes Sorare or Sorare Nepenthes channel, just search Sorare Nepenthes on YouTube, you'll find it. But he was talking about how he bought a bunch of Stuttgart cards and what looked like it was a collection, but it's actually he's buying like multiple versions of certain players and playing all three of them, like basically three similar lineups in the Bundesliga. And I don't mean similar like three stacks, but it's literally like Nubel in all three, Mittelstadt in all three, Stiller in all three, and then playing a different, some combination of the forwards and the extra spot. And with the idea that if one of them hits, like, hey, let's go. And it's not a strategy that I use at all, but it does kind of fall close to the strategy that I've been trying to do for years, which is essentially get the same like player card in multiple scarcities and being able to play it in different spots. So like one of the examples I have was a River Plate stack that I had a Franco Armani in limited rare and super rare. And it was like, well, if River Plate do well, then I can like do well in all three scarcities. And that developed even further with the split between in season and classic. And it was like, oh, I can play, Armani in season, Armani classic. I was doing that a lot last year Argentina season, but like, at the end of or middle to end of 2024. And that was just the way that I was going about it. And one of the reasons why I liked this strategy was ease of play, to be honest. And I'll always kind of go back to one of the criticisms of stacking, which came from Nanzo, who said, like, do you want to make it easy or do you want to win? And Nanzo has traditionally been like anti-stack, not so much like anti-stack, but like he doesn't play that way. He thinks he can build better lineups of 5, maybe not completely uncorrelated guys, but like essentially that, and beat people who are playing stacks, because most of the time a 5-player stack from the same team is usually not the highest scoring combination that you could have had in your gallery. Now, it's possible that it's the most number of points that like your gallery could score, but maybe you are kind of capping your upside by being adamant about playing the stacks. And I understand Nep's strategy here, and I don't think I'm going to implement it like that. In fact, I'm almost certain I won't, because again, like I still believe that 5-player stacks are not optimal on like most weekends. I'll put it that way. Do I 5-player stack sometimes? Sure. Yeah. If there's an overwhelming matchup, like I'll do it. I've done it with, I tried to do it with Necaxa, but the defenders are so bad that I ultimately end up having another one. I was going to do it with, or Necaxa without a forward, but now Diber Cambindo is turned into Julian Quinones, resurrected, and so he's in there. But or like Tigres I was doing before I was double defendering. It was just kind of, there was always one spot that I was not going to have. Like, whoa, sorry. That was my wedding ring that just flew off my finger. So the strategy that I tend to use is, I'll do defender goalie quite often. Like if I have it, I'll do it. And maybe a midfielder, but like I try to do it differently. And what I think I am going to do, or excuse me, the reason why Nep was willing to do this like 3 lineups with Stuttgart was because of Sorare's recent change that any card that you buy from a collection will benefit from the collection bonus. Only one of the cards will contribute to like your collection score. But if you have a 5% collection bonus on a certain team, and you have multiple versions of a player from that collection, then he'll get 5% collection bonus on all those cards. And that was like, obviously that's a game changer. Like if you had multiple cards of a player previously, and I think the card that kind of made Nep go on this crusade to make sure that all cards in a collection got the collection bonus was that he had bought a Martin Odegaard and then won one. And because he had bought one previously, like he was first owner on that one, and because he had it first, like the XP was higher, but he was like, I want the one that I won to be more important. And it just wasn't for years. And now at least they both get the same collection bonus from it. And so the strategy is like he's going to have 3 Alexander Newballs, and all of them will get whatever collection bonus he has on them. And so this is not a strategy that I have tried before. Instead, I tend to do like an in-season and a classic of the same player. So talking about Tigres before, like I have an in-season rare Nahuel Guzman and a classic Nahuel Guzman. And I have the same with like Jesus Angulo. And so I usually play them together when they have a good matchup in classic and an in-season. And it makes you realize very quickly like how different the games are in season and classic, particularly in contender, where you tend not to have, like, you can't have a Zenit stack in contender in season, stuff like that. And so I watched Nep's video last week and basically the wheels started turning in my head of, is this a strategy I think is viable? And I've been, fairly successful on Sorare recently. Like I've had a couple good wins, and some of even the good card wins I've had, I've been able to sell those cards. And so I have a little bit of a balance, and it's kind of like, do I want to play around? And that's basically why I bought like a bunch of the MLS limiteds. Like I wasn't going to play MLS, and then all my friends were having fun with MLS, and I was like, all right, I'll get in, and it's fun as hell. So there's that. I bought another one yesterday. But the area where I thought I was kind of light was one that was contender, which is weird because I'm a contender boy through and through, and fully believe that that's where like real Sorare players play. But I've basically been using Liga MX in-season cards, which expire in May. And I was like, what am I going to do when they do? Do I wait until the European season starts? I never really got into like European contender teams in terms of in-season. Like I have some classic ones that I love, and I have my Cecinias here and there, but like I didn't have like full Daegu cards or whatever. And so I went back to Argentina, where I have a lot of cards, and I had a Racing 2025 collection that I had built in rare. And I was like, do I build it in limited? Like my strategy should have been, yes, just duplicate it in limited. And so when Racing have a great game, I'll clean up on both sides. The problem is that Racing almost never have a great game because they're rotating all the time. All of the key players that I need are hurt. And so it's like, do I just go back to my bread and butter and build a River Plate collection with the idea of I'll get 3 Franco Armanis. I'll get 3 versions of every defender that they have because they've got so many of them. We have Martinez Quarta, Paulo Diaz, Montiel, Acuna, Petzela, and then even the forwards, Maxi Meza. Like I could get multiple versions of all of them, and then it's like, hey, maybe I'll just run all of them when River Plate have the great matchup. And so I've started to do that with River Plate this week. And I think I only have 1 duplicate right now. But the other thing that I really like about this strategy here is because the collection bonus is only applied, like only one of the, let's call it 3 cards of a player is helping of the collection score, but they all get the collection bonus. Once I have enough, like I'm trying to get to 5%, I think I'm at 4% right now. Let me see here. Like I started this I think I started it last week, but let me see here. So I'm at 3% right now, but I am 1 card away from 4%. I don't know if I'll go to 5%, but maybe I will. And if I get to 5%, then I don't have to buy any other cards on the primary market. And what we keep seeing with a lot of this stuff, the secondary market prices are much lower than the primary market, whether mostly just instant buys. I've found that some of the auctions have been like you can sneak some auctions. And so Toby said, surely you'll go 5%. I probably will. Like I have other 5% River Plate collections. But so yeah, the benefit is like if there's a player who's like a $15 limited card as an instant buy and people see the auction and it's like, oh, well, if the instant buy is 15, maybe I'll pay the auction up to 14. The secondary market might be like 10. And once I have one version of the card of whoever it is, Armani, Montiel, Paulo Diaz, the other two I can get cheaper because I can buy those on the secondary market. They will not contribute to my collection bonus, or collection score, but they will get the 5% collection bonus. And so I haven't done it yet. Part of the reason I didn't rush is that like River Plate's matchup this weekend is like okay, it's not great, but Necaxa and Tigres have pretty good matchups, and so like I'm not going to play 3 River Plate lineups this week. International break is coming up. My expectation is that either the auctions slow down considerably or they're just cheaper, and that's when I'll try to like build in the rest of them. But I think everything that Nep said, like in theory, it makes sense, and the way that I think I can build River Plate, and again, I'm not expecting to play 5-man stacks, which Nep is, but as long as everybody has 5% collection bonus, I feel like it can be competitive. Toby said you also only need one each of the center backs since you won't double up most of the time with the rotation risk, double up on Montiel and Acuna. Yeah, I could do that. I mean, Paulo Diaz has been the best scorer so far. Montiel has been good because he's on penalties, but it's actually a little clearer now because LMQ is hurt. But and again, it's not that I only need one of each, because I think the way that the strategy works best is actually to not run like the same defenders all the time. Unfortunately, it's probably best with a double defender. So it's like, and so that's where I'll differentiate. It's like I'll have one lineup of Armani, Diaz, Montiel, and then Armani, Petzela, Acuna, and then one Armani, Montiel, Acuna, something like that. Like it's the being able to get enough of those combinations. And like they have like one playable midfielder and 1.5 playable forwards that it's kind of like, all right, maybe I just don't run the forward. Maybe I run Cecina, something like that. And so it just kind of like works out in that respect. Sorry, that was very long and I didn't, I kind of ignored the chat. Halligan said Nep's strategy could be insane for PSG next season. They have so many great scorers, Bayern as well, and Rosenberg, of course. Yeah, I mean, I think it works a lot. Obviously, PSG would be very, very expensive. Bayern Munich the same way. But if you're willing to do it, like it works in theory. And the great thing about what Nep was doing is that like he calls it theory crafting, which is a term everybody's known for years. And he's putting it into practice. Now, the way he's putting it into practice is very different than the way that I'm considering putting into practice. Like the reason why I keep saying considering is because I haven't bought the second Armani. And like once I buy this second Armani, that's when everything changes. But like I just haven't done it yet. So right now I'm just building a River Plate collection. I think I doubled up on Acuna and that was it. And I did that because I bought an Acuna on the secondary market because it was still wrapped. And I was like, oh, if it's special edition, then that makes up for it. And it wasn't special edition. So then I went back and bought one from the primary market. But right now, like I think there are a couple more auctions today. Like I'm hoping to be at 4% today. That doesn't mean I will, but like I'm getting close. Halligan said it would be the same as getting one collection, but instead of playing them with other stars, you get one more Dembele, Hakimi, Mendes, Vitinha. It's more expensive, but not wildly. I mean, it's pretty expensive. Like Hakimi is one of the most expensive defenders. Dembele's got to be up there. Like it's not cheap. And yeah, shout out to Mike Bassett who told me to get Cambindo before the season, and I didn't, and I paid the price, literally and figuratively. All this collection bonus stuff, how much do you think it applies to rare and super rare? I struggle with speaking on super rare collections because I don't play super rare enough. I almost bought a card yesterday, like a jersey mint super rare for a classic collection that I have, and it was like, what am I doing? But for rare, I think it applies just as much. I think collection bonus is super important now, particularly in rare, because XP is growing so much slower on like a global scale. And so, yeah, you'll boost like your key players, and maybe that's all you need. But actually, now that I say that, I wonder if that's what I'm thinking now is like XP grows slower than it used to because we don't get like any passive XP, and like even the formula for XP makes it so much slower. But we're also boosting, like giving XP boosts to like the cards that matter. Not that like we're wasting it on others, but I don't know. But I think collection bonus, like I go back to something that Gator guy has said for a long time, that ultimately we want our cards to score as many points as possible, and collection bonus is a way to ensure that they score more. Now it caps out at 5%, obviously, but the the way that the game is set up, it's only going to become more and more competitive. And so if you have cards that just aren't scoring as many points as other people's cards, like you're going to find yourself behind them. How said it would be interesting to see how effective 5-man stacks in single league comps versus contender. I suspect they are better in single league comps. I suspect that as well, Paolo, but I don't think it's any more effective over. Well, I don't know. I don't know. Like the number of times that we've seen like the Celtic 5-man stack just smash in contender, which is the deepest competition so rare offer. And I don't know if that happens more. Like Celtic are a weird team for contender because they're so much better than everyone else in their league that like we can look at the other leagues and be like, oh yeah, they have like a clear best team, but Celtic are so much better than everybody else, and the gap is bigger than any other team in contender. So it's like maybe it's just one. Maybe, I don't know. Like I won Division 2 with a Necaxa stack, although that might have only been a 4-player stack. I think it was 4 and Augustin Palavicino. I might not have. Let's check. That was in-season contender rare. Game week 9. Let's check. It feels so long ago now. Game week 9. Oh, I came in second. Sorry. So it was. Oh yeah. Okay. So that's funny. I said Palavicino. I was thinking it was a River Plate card, but he obviously played for Necaxa. Yeah, Ezekiel Unsane, Alan Montez, Palavicino. This was an in-season card at the time. Paradella and Calidio. That's who it was. Calidio with Necaxa. So and again, like I don't think did Diber score in this game. No, he didn't. See, I was sharp. Look how sharp I was not playing him. But again, like I think it's doable. I just don't like. I don't think 5-man stacks are effective. Are the most effective in any competition. Like, can they win? Of course, but I don't think you're ever going to find the combination of a 5-player stack where no one else scored more at their position. And like that's why I think ultimately it, like I say this after a week where all we've been saying is like MLS is a terrible league to 5-man stack. And if you're going to do it, I guess you could do Miami, or I guess you could do Seattle. And then St. Louis comes out and blows the Galaxy away in LA. And everyone's like, see, it works. And it's like, well, it does, but they still didn't have, like, were either any of their players the highest scoring players at their position this week or last game week? Like, they all scored well, but that doesn't mean that they were the highest scorers, if that makes sense. Like, I know Hartle and Lowen got decisives. Were they the highest scoring midfielders basically in MLS last week? I know that, like, this was the week where it was all goalkeepers and defenders were scoring all the points. Rusnak, Tagseth, João Paulo, Lukic. There's Hartle. Dryer's well, there are some midfielders. And, like, where's Lowen? Oh, I missed right by it. So they're, like, had you played Rusnak or João Paulo or Tagseth over any of them, like, it works, or it worked, but I still don't think it was like the most optimal way to play. So Juju said it also increases your risk. Instead of buying a team once, you might be shit this season. You have 2 or 3 of it, like Man City, injuries plus Dortmund performance. Yeah, I mean, this is absolutely not a risk-free endeavor. Nothing about Sorare is risk-free. Toby said, would you think about using Paradella and Pallavicino as the second and third mid in the Rever thing because Rivers mids are bad? I could, yeah. And honestly, Toby, I would probably do that just for the vibes. Just to play like Armani, Paulo Diaz, Paradella, some Cecina probably, some forward, and Pallavicino. And be like, oh, all the old River guys. It like pains me so much that like I can't play Julian Alvarez with them because he's the only playable forward from my older collection. But yeah, it's possible. Following up from before, Halligan said, what I'm trying to say is if the plan is to get Salah, Rafinha, and Dembele, it's not more expensive to just get 3 Dembeles instead. Yeah, that's fair. Yep. Mike said River keeper and defense with Necaxa midfielder forward sound best. That sounds like, yeah. Yeah. Toby said, I don't think you'll ever thinks back to the Lyon game week. When was that? Because was that one was a really broken game week, wasn't it? Let's see. Was it this Rhymes game? Yeah. Perry. But like, even if you were making this lineup, are you really going double defender? I guess you could. I don't know if you are. Or if most people are playing Tagliafico, Mata, Tolizo, Cherky. I guess one person did, right? I don't know. Like, again, it works, or it can work. Anything can work. That doesn't mean it's like a viable strategy. Philly Dilly said, to bring back an old PSUism, the best midfielder for your stack is Rodri or Gill. Yeah. Toby said, look at the lineup that got me second, furthest from a stack you could possibly use. So 5 unrelated players. Which is like, again, I think it's fine. Cornell, Laborda, Fagundes, Tagseth, and Dreyer. How is this? Is this Tagseth still a in-season card, or was it? I guess so. It's a cheeky one there, Toby. That's a hilarious lineup too. Like, Toby, did you make this lineup and you're like, yep, I'm winning $300 with this one? Juju said the question isn't how likely is it that someone can build a lineup with better scores from different teams. I mean, that's the question every week. ECS said, I'm curious, how are people usually make their strategies? Is it to gain the most ROI? Is it to maximize the fun they have? Or is it a combination of both? of both. Excuse me. For me, I play exclusively for fun. Juju said, fun in Sorare has always something to do with the return on investment. I can buy and build fun teams, but I haven't seen anyone who got top 90% all the time and had fun with it. Yeah, I mean, it's however you want to, like, whatever. I don't think it's fun to play Sorare with the sole thought of, like, how do I make the most money? But I think that's different than, like, how can I win the most? And the number of, like, vibes lineups I make because I'm like, oh, I think it's just fun to do this. And I'm just like, this is a suboptimal lineup, but I'm going to do it anyway. Like, I'm not a, I'm not here to tell people that, like, every single lineup you make has to be to maximize ROI because that's not the point. Let me see if I can find a lineup like that from this past weekend. I had so many bad ones that it's just, where was my vibes lineups? Where are my vibes lineups? Maybe I'm just focusing too much. Maybe that's why I'm not winning anymore. I say that after I just had a pretty decent one. Here's a vibes lineup. What is this? Contender Classic. 4 guys. I wanted to play, like, there's no contender forward, I don't think, who's at least actively playing to play in this River Plate lineup. So this is a 4-man River Plate collection stack, but, like, Petroli doesn't play for them anymore. Palavecino and Paradel play for Necaxa. Montiel does play for River Plate. And I just put lineups together like that. I don't think I had. So, like, yeah, here's an example of this is my Tigres, and I have a Brunetta midfielder card. So I was like, oh, I need a forward. And so I play Fitz. And this is the partial Necaxa lineup. They were playing Cruz Azul, got smoked. And then, like, yeah, Daniele Verde. Tigres, where I do have a Brunetta forward card, and then I play Vanacek. I loved this lineup, actually. Akitu Fukumori is like a folk hero in Sorare. I've loved it. Loved this card. And so, yeah, Tigre or Necaxa stack with Fukumori. It's like full vibes on that one. That's it. So, yeah, I mean, have fun. The point, I mean, if you're not having fun here, like, I'm not sure what we're doing here. Toby said that was my 4th priority lineup in MLS. Yeah, yeah. Jonathan said, playing Sorare should be fun. I always captain Israeli players because these are the games I like to watch and celebrate when they do well. Love it. And I play card games with my family for fun, but I'm playing to win. This is the same thing. Yeah. Perfect. That's a great way to say it. Like, yeah, you're playing Uno with your kids and you're sitting on a couple of draw 4s and, like, oh, yeah, let's just have fun. And then drop in that draw 4 and they're just like, oh, and then you do it again. Yeah, it's fun. Maybe it's not so fun for them. Whatever. We're here to have fun. But yeah, so it's the trailing idea is one that I feel like I probably should have talked about previously, much earlier than this, because, like, the number of times where I'll do a show, and the recent example that pops into my head is Harry and I did, like, a U23 show a couple months ago. Crying kids at Uno, that's fun, says Sora Juju. Yeah. We did, like, a U23 show, and, like, I don't play U23 really. Like, I sometimes I'll have it. I actually sent a message to Harry yesterday. It was like, because I had, like, a U23 lineup, and it was like, do I need to get a goalie for this? Because I don't really have I only have 2 sometimes playing U23 goalies, Nick Shinton and Nahuel Knoll. And, like, that's how seriously I play U23, that, like, I have some very good U23 players. Maxim de Kuiper, Doku's been great recently, Rodrigo, bunch of others, Aral Simsier, and I just never play them in U23. But we did a U23 show earlier. I don't remember if it was in the summer, like before the season, but Like the number of people who after that were like, I don't play U23, but like maybe I'll play U23. And the more that people talk about strategies on about Sorare, you kind of watch this and you're like, oh, that could work. And I'm not here saying like you shouldn't follow those strategies, but anyone can make any strategy sound fun and exciting. But if you're not going to be into it, it's going to lose its fun very quickly. And part of that actually moves into the fact of like how Sorare is played now, that we're basically being told to focus on in season, which means that cash is like our main prize. And winning cash is like great. It's like validation for your lineup. I knew, like, I built the right lineups. I got the right cards and I built the right collections and I put the right cards together for this lineup and it won. And now I have more money. But it's kind of boring. There's no excitement. There's no little dopamine hits when you open the box or see a card reward. And so if you combine that with doing a strategy that you're just kind of like, oh, that sounded like a good idea, so I'll do that, it's just not going to be a very enjoyable experience for Sorare. And something that Toby has said previously that I will always bring up, that you're going to be more likely to want to succeed at something if you like it. And if you don't like it, you're not going to put the time in. You're not going to want to do the work that's required to have success. And so find, like, if there's a strategy that like sounds interesting, like make sure that you actually are going to find that interesting continuously in order to make sure that happens. Bogart reporting Messi will travel to Jamaica. Unbelievable. So so Mike said they tailed in U23. Yeah, like a lot of people were like, oh, I wasn't going to play U23 at all, but now I will play because that sounds fun. And the problem is that like the people who play U23, Harry is one of them. And U23 is not as much of a priority for him as it used to be, even though he keeps winning. But if you don't have the desire to do the work to succeed at U23, which is scouting different players and making sure that how much utility they have left and all of everything that goes into U23, like if you're not going to want to do that stuff, it's not a good strategy to tail. How about that? And so the interesting thing with this this strategy that Nep has been talking about, and I'm not saying this is a strategy that everybody should be doing, but the reason why I'm considering it is because it feels like it's like the next step in a strategy that I have been trying to play with a lot, like my time on Sorare. Like I used to do, and vertical stacking was the phrase that Quinny used to use. But like I'm currently sitting on 5 Franco Armani cards, and 4 of them are classic. But like this 2024 Armani was in season until January. And so was this limited one. So basically what I was doing was playing my original classic one in Contender Classic. I'd have the super rare in Contender Classic, and then these 2 rares and limited, the rare and limited in season. And it was like, oh, when River Plate have a clean sheet, that's 4 lineups I know that are going to be good. And now it's like, all right, maybe I should keep going with this because I'm already putting Armani in at least other lineups. So I have to know like if Armani is going to play. And so I'm looking at the River Plate projected lineups everywhere. And so if I'm like, all right, he's in. Okay, Paulo Diaz is in. I probably have the same number of Paulo Diaz cards in the same like scarcities and seasons. I don't know why other cards are popping up. Does this work? No. Anyway, I don't know why these other cards are popping up, but I have like, there's the same collection, Paulo Diaz here, the super rare, last season's in-season card in limited and rare, and then the new one this season. These 2 are teammates now, Guilherme and Neymar. That's why I bought this one. But and so now I'm buying, yeah, these River Plate cards plus this random Mark Anthony K. And so I don't think I will, like, I don't see myself. Actually, let's see what the matchups are coming up. But I don't see myself. Oh man, they play Rosario after the break. Yeah, I mean, River Plate's gonna have enough like good matchups where it's like, oh, maybe I will do this 3 times, and it it's a strategy that like kind of like I said, it kind of fits within. So now it's like in a given game week, if I end up buying 2 more Franco Armani limited cards, in season limiteds, um, like I will have a contender limited classic, possibly 2 rare classics, a super rare classic, and 3 in season limited Armani lineups. Like, actually, let's see what that looks like. Hold on. Don't use the attackers against the mighty Brown. Yeah. Um, so I wasn't like thrilled with this weekend, but yeah, Rosario game week 66. Let's go to the builder at 66 and see how absurd this looks. Contender classic. I'll just start like Armani. Who does Nicoxa? Oh, Nicoxa. See, like that's the thing. Nicoxa have like a great matchup that weekend. Paolo, and I don't think I have anyone else from this collection. So let's just do those 2 for now. So Contender Classic Super Rare, Contender Classic Rare, Armani, and Paolo. And let's just keep it at them for now, just so we can like see the absurdity of how this looks. So those are the 2, and now we need. Sorry for those listening. This isn't like riveting, but get over it. I'm just kidding a little bit. All right, Paolo. Major NT said, I always worry on spending so much on older goalkeepers who might have limited classic use after. Doesn't he retire at the end of the season? So the one thing I will say about that is I no longer buy cards thinking beyond next season. Excuse me, thinking beyond this season. My goal is to make more in returns, more in rewards, excuse me, than what I paid. And whatever happens after that, it is what it is. And so I really don't want to even like I can't concern myself with what happens later. And also like one of the very first So Rare videos I ever did with Andy Black. It was like 4 years ago. Actually, it might be like legitimately close to 4 years ago. Like to the day. I have to go back and look. Probably not that. Oh, no. No, not to the day. Anyway, the whole like maybe you should buy Brad Guzan, but like he's cheaper because he's going to retire soon, and it's been 4 years, and the guy is just still churning them out. Philly Dilly said, "I get it with the way rewards are, but doesn't not thinking past this season take a lot of the fun out of the game?" I mean, it does not for me. It's not that I don't think about it, but Major MT said, "I'm still hurting from Stecklenburg. I guess my hands are burnt." But yeah, you just get them in South America and they play forever. But it's not that I don't think about next season, but I feel like I would end up making suboptimal decisions for this season, preparing for next season. And given what we know about So Rare, what's happening now is probably not going to be what the case is is next year. And so the way that I like it's very difficult to plan for next season, having no idea what like the game rules are, if they change anything with collection, like who knows. And so would I rather have a goalie that I know will play next season? Sure. But like I think Armani's arguably one of the best in contender from now until the end of 2025, that instead of getting as many points out of those cards as I can now, I'm like voluntarily choosing worse players just for the possibility that I could use them in classic next season. Like I have so many classic cards that I don't even need. Like I just don't, it's not what I'm looking to do. Jacob said, did you forget to change the thumbnail? No. Isn't the thumbnail exactly what I'm talking about? Or are you commenting that Nep isn't here? Here's the thumbnail. We're talking about strategy tailing. I was talking about Nep's strategy with these specific cards, no less. And that's me thinking with my glasses. I'm actually wearing that exact same shirt today. How about that? My NYU shirt. Anyway. Huntington said, planning ahead in Sorare is impossible because the team changes the game every second week. It's not that dramatic. Come on. I mean, there are changes, but like we know that there are changes. Like we know we're playing a game that has changed many times and is not going to stay like this exactly as well. The Real No said, one area where it makes sense to plan for over one season is U23. I started Sorare 2 years ago and concentrated on U23 heavy collections. Now I have guys like Yuri Alberto and Valentin Gomez at 15%. I think that's fair. Major NFT said, I have a couple of Armanis, just struggle to buy another now in season, but your logic makes sense. I just can't do it. That's okay. Like, just because you see what you think may be a good idea doesn't mean, A, doesn't mean it's a good idea, but B, doesn't mean it is a good idea for you. And I have the benefit of having sunk so much money into River Plate over the last 4 years that it's just I'm just a freaking meme by now with River Plate or Midtjylland. Fun fact, 2 fun facts. That Armani rare is the winningest card I've ever owned. Like I have more wins with this lineup, with this card than any others. And some like fun cards that I've won. Where is it? Mihalovic. Look at that. Trusty. Gabriel Arias. Cifuentes when he was good. There's a Quinones that I should have never sold. Luis Arruti. Shout out to Tuggy. Marcos Rojo. He's still banging around. Won a Gald. A Sirois, which I believe I sold to SR Monkey. Yep. I sold that card to SR Monkey and I was like, before I agreed to sell it, I was like, you realize that like he might not keep the job. And he was like, I think he's going to keep it. And I was like, good luck. And he's been awesome since. So GG's on that, David. Danny Olmo, Lucho, I sold that one. Berkey sold that. Ruben Diaz. Oh, man, this is great. Gignac. Kirchu. I don't remember. Oh, yeah, I remember winning that card. And I got this card as a referral reward. Back when I joined the platform, you could, for every 5, so it was very similar to the deal now. Like for every you referred somebody, and when they bought 5 cards, you got a card and they got a card. Limited cards didn't exist then, so you got River Plate cards. I've told this story before, so I apologize for those who have heard it. But I won that Armani card, or I got that Armani card as a referral reward. I actually opened that card walking on a treadmill at the gym. And I opened that card and I had never heard of Franco Armani, but I saw he was a goalie and it was like, all right, that's fine. I saw River Plate and I was like, I don't know where that is. And after that, I won 2 cards that day. Or I got 2 referrals completed that day. Armani was one, and the other one was Go Hitano, who was a U23 goalie at the time. And I was so pumped for that Go Hitano card because I had won, or I'd been playing U23 with a common goalie. Back then, you could play 4 rares and a common, and the common card would get 50% of the score. And so winning that Hitano meant I could play U23 with like full lineups. And I used to play U23 back then. It was very fun, but it was like I always struggled to get a goalie because they were so expensive. That Armani card was just like, oh, I have this too. And not only um, did I like jump in on Armani, but like now for this, like the 2020 collection, this is the Armani card that I got. And I'm first on the leaderboard now, and ended up buying a ton of cards as either jersey mints or one ofs for this collection. I don't even have all of them, but I have, what is this? I have a 23 cards from this collection. I have 16 cards from the 2024 rare, 15 already from the 2025 limited, and then I have all of these assorted ones. This Barco one is a jersey mint. It's the only one. I should probably build around that. And like all of these cards that I bought, these River Plate cards I bought because of that single Armani that they gave me, that I was like somewhat, it's not that I was disappointed about it, but I wasn't excited because I was like, oh, I got this Go Hitano card. And now I'm at, what is that, 69 River Plate cards, all from getting one from a referral reward. Server said that Armani has been epic for you. Congrats. That's pretty fun. Now you can't sell him under any circumstances, though. Sam, I've gotten like plenty of offers on that card, and I'll never sell that card. Absolutely never. The only like unfortunate thing, although maybe now it doesn't matter. I remember I think the Armani one of from that season, which is also the jersey mint, was on the market, and I was like, I just don't need it because I have mine. But now that man, who has that one? Surely someone else high up the leaderboard. Actually, I think it's 2020, not even 2021. Who's this guy? Kesla, did they still play? Let's see, do they have a collection? The one of Paolo, too. I should have got this Carrascal. Do they still play? Oh, they do. Well, GG's to them. I hope they have fun with that card. Toby said, I bought 5 Rosario players for a tenner, and I'm already in love with them, even if they never return me anything. It's great. That's great. They're going to get absolutely blasted in game week 66, but that's great. They're playing River Plate. So Ricamon said, I know Houston are a joke, but the cards I've won the most with in rare are mainly Houston cards. I kind of remember that. Didn't you have a stack last year? It was like Clark. Was it Sviatchenko? Obviously Herrera. I don't know. Me and my boys are coming for you. My shirt's in the post. I don't even have a River Plate shirt. I'm just not a big sash guy. Is that what you guys call it? I don't know what you guys call it. I think it's a sash. Like I just wish I did. And like buying a goalkeeper shirt doesn't seem as exciting. But yeah, it's like you got to really be confident in yourself. I don't even, is this just like the warm-up shirt? It's CA River Plate maybe. All right, let's speak some Spanish. Where's like the Where's the shop? I don't know why I'm doing this now. Excuse me. Toby said Clark, Franco, McHale, Herrera, any Ford other than a Houston Ford was a really good really good stack. Excuse me. Mike said, I love a sash shirt. Have Rayo Vallecano and the Peru shirt. Yeah, there was one, I don't know if it was like a third jersey or something from last year that I found randomly on the internet, and I was like, wow, this is really cool. And I remember sharing it in the Sober Argentina Discord, and somebody was like, yeah, that's not their shirt. Because they have Adidas, and it was a Nike shirt, and it was like, oh, this is like right off of DHgate or something like that. So that's a bummer. Toby said the Southampton 2010 kit was the worst looking sash kit. Let's see, 2010 Southampton kit. This is that's it, huh? It's like a polo shirt with a sash. Yeah, that looks pretty bad. But yeah, so like really I should just buy an Armani jersey. Like just get over myself, and I can't even, everywhere I look has a match worn shirt. I don't know. But yeah, I don't know. I just don't think I can pull this off. Maybe. I'm not a big jersey guy anyway. I mean, if Sorare sent me one, that's one thing. But they haven't. And if they're going to send me anything River Plate related, please let me have the Enzo Perez goalkeeper card. Please, please, please. I've never wanted a card so much before. And I missed out on the last one that sold, and I was so upset about it. But I want that card so badly. I bought a Philly away kit with Elliott because of Sorare. Yeah, I mean, why not? Ooh, major NFT maybe for Halloween. That's a good one. I bet you can find an Armani 2020 shirt from Classic Football Shirts or something. Why would I want... You know what's funny is searching Armani shirt and not realizing that Google doesn't know I'm talking about Franco. He's got a lot of Argentina shirts, which I don't want. And somehow this Franco Armani card is on Uniswap, which I didn't even know you could do. Which one is this? 52 of 100? Whose is that? Who's selling the 52 of 100 Franco Armani River Plate? 52 Augustin Perez. Okay. Just get the away shirt. I don't even know what the away shirt looks like now. River Plate away. Oh, that is that one. Yeah, see, I don't know. That color doesn't hit me either. It was this shirt right here. This is the one I really wanted. But like, I'm a 43-year-old adult. Can I really wear this shirt? Like, look at how happy this guy is. Oh my God, he tucked it in. What are we doing? Try on made with AI. Oh my goodness. Is this what I'm going to look like? You don't have, his pants are so high too. I'm sorry for those of you who are listening to this. If you're on Spotify, just pull up the video really quickly, excuse me. Mike said it reminds me of Jimmer. It does kind of look like Jimmer. Like just if you look quickly. Like just like, that's Jimmer, right? Oh, you could do like different, tuck it into some jeans. Some leggings. This is all AI, huh? Man. What are we going to do next? I don't look like any of these people. Extra small. This guy's arms are very long. I don't think he's really a small. This guy looks very tall. Sorry, this is not where I thought this was going, but man, that's a cool. Yeah. So I really like that one. This one looks too much like Feyenoord. Yeah, this is the third kid. Yeah, I don't know. I guess this one's not bad. $200. What are we doing? This is kind of sweet, actually. 1994. I can't wear this stuff. I'm too old, but like, what is this? This is the third jersey? I could wear that, I think. Anyway, Sorare, if you have any River Plate jerseys, since you just redid the license agreement, you have my address. Recomon said, I just wish shirts were cheaper. I agree. You don't even get sleeves. It's a racket. But yeah, anyway, I got walls to cover. And I've got 2 Midtjylland shirts, but if River Plate, you want to spread the River Plate love, I'm happy to do it. Absolutely. Yeah, so that's all I got today. Mike said, I wear this stuff. It's my work gear. Currently wearing Santos Laguna 2023-24 away shirt. Yeah, I mean, I probably could. I just don't have many jerseys. I think the only jerseys I have that I actually would wear, there's an Orlando City, the St. Louis one that Jimmer gave me. Shout out to Jimmer again. And I have an Aston Villa Christian Benteke shirt. I don't think I have another. Rikamon said they just go to DH Gate. Maybe I should. I get overwhelmed on DH Gate. I'm not going to lie. But maybe I'll do a show soon where I just go through DH Gate and everybody can help me figure out what jerseys to buy. We'll set a budget and we'll be like, which jersey should I get? And then we'll do a follow-up show in 9 months when they show up. That sounds fun, doesn't it? I'm actually serious about this now. We'll see. Anyway, thank you everybody for coming. If you could please like, subscribe, all that good stuff. Shout out to Quinny. I'll be back tomorrow. No Sorare Andrews tomorrow, though. Andy was like, I got stuff going on. Not going to be around. So go find someone else. And so I should do that. And, but yeah, I'll be back because that's what I do. And so enjoy the rest of your day. Got some Champions League on today. Always exciting. So go have fun with that. Although they're not on. Are they on yet? I don't even know. UCL schedule. We got about 45 minutes. So those of you who are watching live, get off the whatever you're sitting on, go outside for a little bit, get some fresh air, and then come in and just watch all the football. So anyway, thank you, everybody. Oh, and if you're watching this at another time or listening to it, make sure to go outside.